here with Statifying Football. This is week 11 for the college football. These are the noon games on Saturday. Starting with New Mexico State Aggies and the Alabama Crimson Tide. New Mexico State lost 35-13 to Utah State. Jonah Johnson, 298 passing. He had 13 penalties. They got to cut that out. Caleb Mills, 10 tackles, a pass defense. Trevor Brohard, 10 tackles, half a tackle for loss. Bama barely got past LSU. They won 20-14. Bryce Young, 302 passing, 2 touchdowns. James Williams, 10 catches, 160 yards, and a touchdowns. 5 sacks defensively. Will Anderson had 12 tackles, half a sack, 4 tackles for loss, and he passed defense. Bama shouldn't have any trouble with New Mexico State. Bryce Young, to me, is in the lead for the Heisman race. Then go to Michigan and Penn State. Should be a pretty big game for the nationally and in the Big Ten. Michigan, they beat Indiana 29-7. Cade McNamara, 168 passing, 2 touchdowns. Hassan Haskins, 168 rushing, and a touchdown. Cornelius Johnson, 5 catches, 108. Only allowed 195 total yards. Penn State, they got past Maryland. It was 31-14. Sean Clifford, 363 passing, 3 touchdowns. Jahan Dotson, 11 catches, 242 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. They had an interception return for a touchdown in that game. I think this could be a pretty close game, pretty even game. I'm going to give the edge to Michigan. Michigan's run game and their defense, they might be able to force a couple of turnovers by Clifford. And McNamara should be just fine on his own. But like I said, close game. This could be like 23-20, something like that. But I'll go Michigan there. They'll be on upset alert upset to a point, but upset alert, I'm not going to pull the upset. All right, Oklahoma and Baylor, really big game in the Big 12. Oklahoma coming off a bye 2 weeks ago. They beat Texas Tech 52-21. Caleb Williams, 402 passing yards, 6 touchdown passes. Marvin Mims, 4 catches, 135 and 2 touchdowns. Mario Williams, 5 catches, 100 yards and a touchdown. Had 541 total yards. Baylor, they got upset by TCU. They lost 30-28. Jerry Bohannon, 214, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Abram Smith ran for 125. Tyquan Thornton, 5 catches, 121 and 2 touchdowns. Terrell Bernard, 11 tackles and a tackle for loss. This will be a really interesting game. This could go back and forth, could be relatively high scoring, but I'm going to go with Oklahoma here. Baylor has looked really good all year, but I think since Caleb Williams has come in at quarterback, their offense has been on fire, dynamic, been just great. If he'd started early this season, I think he'd be right up there for the Heisman. So I think Oklahoma will win. I guess I'll put Oklahoma a small upset alert, but I say Oklahoma still wins that. Mississippi State and Auburn, both coming off tough losses. Mississippi State, though, they missed the field goal late, lost 31-28 to Arkansas. Will Rogers had a great game, 417 passing, 4 touchdowns and an interception. Mekhi Polk, 8 catches, 117. Auburn lost 23 to Texas A&M. Bo Nix, 20-41, 153 and an interception. They couldn't really get anything going. Their defense played well against A&M, but their offense couldn't do anything. This would be kind of an interesting game. It'll be like Mississippi State's high-flying offense against a good Auburn defense. Auburn's offense kind of been hit or miss. They've been a little more consistent this year than past couple years. And Mississippi State's defense is okay. I think this will be a pretty close game. I'm going to give the edge to the offense for Mississippi State, just slightly, but it should be an interesting game. Northwestern and Wisconsin. Northwestern hung tough with Iowa, and they only lost 17-12. Andrew Marty, 270 passing, a touchdown, but he did throw 3 interceptions in there. Chris Bergen had 10 tackles. Wisconsin, they have been on fire lately. They destroyed Rutgers 52-3. Graham Mertz, 240 passing, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Braylon Allen ran for 129 and a touchdown. They had 579 total yards. Forced 4 turnovers and had an interception return for a touchdown. I don't think they should. Northwestern has a good defense, but their offense has been really bad this year. Wisconsin has maybe the best. I think they might be statistically the top or one of the top defenses in the nation. And it seems like that with that old-time Wisconsin running game is rolling. I got Wisconsin pretty big in that game. All right, Rutgers and Indiana, this will be a kind of a low-scoring, kind of a boring affair. Rutgers, they lost 52-3 Wisconsin. 4 quarterbacks played there. They were not very good. They combined to be 13 of 27 for 112 yards and threw 3 interceptions. Olukule Fatakasi had 10 tackles. Indiana lost 29-7 to Michigan. Donovan McCulley, 10 of 24 for 80 yards, plus 37 rushing. They only had 195 total yards. Both offenses haven't been very good, but Rutgers has been slightly more consistent this season than Indiana. I'll go Rutgers in a pretty low scoring game, and I mean like 13-10, 16-13 kind of thing. I got Rutgers there. West Virginia and Kansas State. West Virginia lost to Oklahoma State 24-3. Jared Dagey, not very good, 109 and a pick. They only had 133 total yards. Kansas State looked pretty good against Kansas, 35-10. Skylar Thompson, 244 and a touchdown passing. Deuce Vaughn ran for 162 yards and 3 touchdowns. West Virginia's been hit or miss. Their defense has been pretty good. Dagey's been mostly fine at quarterback, but they can't quite get it done. Kansas State seems to be catching something, getting something going a little bit lately. So I'm going to go with Kansas State to win that one. All right, Stanford and Florida. They need to fire Dan Mullen. They got killed by South Carolina 40-17. Emory Jones, 258, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Mohamed Diabate had 12 tackles, trading 11 tackles and a tackle for loss. Stanford, if I'm not mistaken, they ran a triple option, or used to anyway. Again, I mean, Florida, I'm not sure if they'll get bowl eligible. I think they'll be fine, I guess. They might not win by a lot this one, but they should at least be able to skate by. UConn and Clemson. UConn coming off a bye a couple of weeks ago. They lost to Middle Tennessee State 44-13. Steve Krajewski, 237, a touchdown, 2 picks. They had 3 turnovers. Ian Swinson, 13 tackles. Jackson Mitchell, 12 tackles and a tackle for loss. And Malik Dixon, 10 tackle, half a tackle for loss, and a pass defense. Clemson, they finally got something going a little bit on offense. They beat Louisville 30-24. DJ Uiagalelei, 220 passing, 2 touchdown passes, plus 1 rushing. Bo Collins, 6 catches, 104 and a touchdown. They had 4 sacks. Trenton Simpson had 10 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss. I think Clemson should be able to get by UConn pretty well. All right, Syracuse and Louisville should be a pretty high-scoring game. Syracuse coming off a bye. They beat Boston College 21-6. Gary Schrader, not very good passing, only 5 of 14 for 65 yards. He did run for 78 yards and a touchdown. Sean Tucker ran for 207 and a touchdown. Defensively, had 5 sacks, with 3 of them by Kingsley Jonathan. Louisville lost a close game to Clemson 30-24. Malik Cunningham, 174 passing and ran for 134 and 2 touchdowns. CJ Avery had 10 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I'm kind of leaning towards Louisville because of Malik Cunningham, but Garrett Schrader has been a really good running quarterback for Syracuse. Sean Tucker is one of the nation's top rushers, if not the top one. This is going to go back and forth. The over-under is 55.5. That seems kind of low to me. I think it'll go above that. I'm kind of leaning towards Louisville here. I'll go Louisville in a really, really close game. All right, Maine and UMass. UMass just lost to 1AA team Rhode Island 35-22. Tyler Little, 227, 1 touchdown, a pick, and 1 rushing. Ellis Merriweather has been a really good running back for them this year. Pretty much their only good player. He ran for 118 and a touchdown. I think they'll bounce back and hopefully should get by Maine. UCF and SMU, kind of a big game in the American Conference. UCF squeaked by Tulane 14-10. Mikey Keene, 229 and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, they had 4 sacks. Bryson Armstrong, 11 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass defense. Tanner Bethune, 11 tackles, half a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass defense himself. SMU got upset by Memphis 28-25. Tanner Mordecai, 262, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. They only had 59 rushing yards, turned it over 3 times. And they had 4 sacks defensively. UCF's offense has not been very good. I'm not sure they can really keep up with SMU. Their defense has been playing great. They're going to have to force some turnovers to get through this. I'm going to go SMU with a win there. Maybe it'll be close a little bit, but I got SMU. ECU and Memphis, this will be an interesting one. ECU beat Temple 45-3. Holt Nailers 197, 3 touchdown passes, plus 33 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. Keaton Mitchell 146 rushing, 2 touchdowns. Ryan Jones 6 catches, 102 and 2 touchdowns. They only held Temple to 168 total yards. Memphis was able to get by SMU 28-25. Seth Hennigan passed for 392, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, they had 5 sacks and 3 turnovers. ECU's offense is a lot better than people think. This game is going to go back and forth. This should be a fun game. Again, over under 59.5. I think that's a little low. I'm going to go Memphis and a close win there. Houston and Temple. Houston, they got by USF 54-42. Clayton Tune 385 and 2 touchdowns. Dejon Henry ran for 130 and a touchdown. Alton McCaskill ran for 125 and 3 touchdowns. Nathaniel Dell 8 catches, 164 and a touchdown. Keshawn Carter 6 catches, 123. They had 646 yards in that game. Temple got destroyed by ECU 45-3. Both quarterbacks combined to suck, 13 of 33 for 57 total yards. Houston shouldn't have any trouble with Temple. They're going to blow them out. Bucknell and Army. Army had a big win against Air Force and went to overtime. Won 21-14. Christian Anderson 7 of 12 for 175 passing yards and a touchdown. Taylor Robinson 2 catches, 118 and a touchdown. Markel Broughton had 10 tackles. Army, they shouldn't have any trouble with Bucknell. That should get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible. Western Kentucky and Rice. Western Kentucky's kind of what I figured that game would be. They came back. They were, I think, 1-3 at one point in the season, or 1-4. They won like 4 games in a row. They beat Middle Tennessee State 48-21. Bailey Zappi 281, 4 more touchdown passes. He leads the nation with 37 touchdowns. Jared Stearns, his like 5th or 6th straight game with double-digit catches, 11 for 110 in that game. Defensively, they forced 7 turnovers in that win with 1 return for a touchdown. Jaden Hunter had 11 tackles and a half tackle for loss. Rice, they lost in overtime to Charlotte 31-24. Jake Constantine 253 and an interception. Eric Broussard ran for 186 and 2 touchdowns. Jake Bailey 7 catches, 143. Defensively, at 4 sacks. They had 12 penalties. They can't do that against a high-flying Western Kentucky team. This may not be very close. I think Western Kentucky, that offense, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's one of the best in the country. Western Kentucky should win. Georgia State and Coastal Carolina. Georgia State lost a close game to Louisiana Lafayette 21-17. Darren Granger 8 of 19 for 98 yards and a touchdown. They ran for 209 as a team. And Tavius Lane 10 tackles. Chris Moore 10 tackles and a tackle for loss. Coastal Carolina was able to get by Georgia Southern 28-8. Behind their backup quarterback Bryce Carpenter, Grayson McCall, he's injured. We'll see if he can come back. But Carpenter, he's got a lot of positive starting experience in his time there. He only passed for 85 yards and a touchdown, but he did run for 44 and a touchdown. Defensively, had 4 sacks, all of them by Josiah Stewart, forced 4 turnovers, and had blocked punt return for a touchdown. This may be kind of close. Georgia State's a pretty tough team, but Coastal Carolina still shouldn't have too much trouble to get by. They'll win maybe by about 20. Then you got Utah and Arizona. Utah, they look like maybe the best team in the Pac-12. Possibly including Oregon. They did whatever they wanted against Stanford, 52-7. Tavian Thomas ran for 177 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Michael Bedard ran for 110 and a touchdown. TJ Pleasure ran for 107 and a touchdown. They had 3 guys go over 100 rushing yards. Ran for 441 yards, put up 581 yards of offense. Defensively had 5 sacks and a pick 6 in that game. Arizona, they actually stopped their 20-game losing streak. They got by a depleted Cal team, 10-3. Cal, they had 24 players out with COVID, including their starting quarterback, but Arizona took advantage. Will Plummer, he only passed for 129, 2 interceptions, but he did add 68 rushing yards, and they were to get 4 sacks and hold Cal to 122 yards and a 10-3 win. This shouldn't be close. I think Utah takes care of business and destroys Arizona. All right, South Alabama and Appalachian State. USA, they were down 31 by big to Troy. They almost came back. They lost 31-24. Desmond Trotter, 138, 2 touchdowns, a pick, plus 43 rushing yards and a touchdown. App State, they looked really good against Arkansas State, 48-14. Chase Bryce passed for 163, touchdown, a pick. Nate Noel ran for 122 and a touchdown. Cameron Peoples ran for 116 and a touchdown. Defensively, they had 4 sacks, 3 turnovers, and the 3 turnovers were Stephen Jones. He had 3 interceptions and returned 2 of them for touchdowns. Had an awesome game. USA, they're missing a quarterback, Jake Bentley. They're still a pretty tough team, but Appalachian State should be able to get by them with not too much trouble. In the final of the noon games, Georgia Southern and Texas State. Georgia Southern lost to Coastal Carolina 28-8. Justin Tomlin, 6 of 13, 83 yards and a pick and 39 rushing. Cam Ransom, 5 of 10, 64 yards and a touchdown. They turned over 4 times in that one. Anthony Wilson had 10 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. Texas State had a nice win against a pretty good ULM team, 27-19. Tyler Vitt passed for 262 and a touchdown, added 37 rushing yards. Marcel Barbie, 5 catches, 102. Defensively, they had 5 sacks, with Markavian Coleman getting 14 tackles, a tackle for loss. DeJordan Mask, 11 tackles and pass defense, and Zion Childress, 11 tackles and a pass defense as well. This is kind of hard to see. Both teams are kind of struggling this year. Texas State has more of a passing game. Georgia Southern is a triple option offense. They haven't really gotten that going too much. I'm kind of leaning Texas State here. It'll be a close game. I'll get Texas State the slightest of edges. So those are my picks for the noon games. Check out, I think, maybe a big upset alert on the 3:30 games. Go back and check that other video to find out what. Peace.